What's up everyone? Shane here with ROA Off-Road. I'm actually out on a camping adventure right now with the owner of MDC, some of their crew. Today I want to do a first impressions. We actually have not had our hands on one of MDC's tent trailers yet. I actually asked, could you bring one? And so he brought it for us to actually see it. And I wanted to kind of maybe do some walk-arounds and check it out. I've actually have some experience with these trailers, at least tent trailers. These are super popular in Australia, and this is an off-road trailer. This is not like when you think in America tent trailer, you think small, cheap, fall apart piece of junk. These things generally are pretty robust, made really well. So like I said, I have some experience. We used to be a Patriot camper dealer here in the US. We sold, I don't even know, 100 plus Patriot campers, right? And we also used to carry a brand called Black Series, and they had some of these types of folds. I actually camped in them. One of my very first adventures, multiple adventures, were in some of these forward folds. Honestly, those units, I liked them, but not a lot of amenities. These ones look a lot different. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to see them. Obviously the Patriot campers have lots of little amenities, and I kind of wanted to get a feel for this, walk around it, see what it looks like, check out the quality of them, and just give you my first impressions overall, because I have used a bunch of tent trailers over the years, and I think I'll probably try setting it up too for my very first time, even though I've never set one up, and kind of showcase how that goes. So let's get into this. So I'm gonna just kind of walk around, check this thing out. First thing is, I love these latches. These are super heavy duty. If you're actually out looking at a tent trailer, say on a, big dealer lot, generally they're gonna use like a twist. It's like a butterfly latch. Those things cost like 90 cents. You can go buy them at Home Depot. If you jump on Amazon and try to buy these locking latches, these things are gonna range 15 to 20 bucks per latch. I mean, if you're looking at the Patriot campers, much smaller, and you're talking $50,000 to $80,000. So when you're talking off-road, this thing is not as crazy as you would think. It's actually a great deal. Really nice, heavy-duty looking hinges. And then this is all aluminum. I was talking with Vaughn, the owner, and he actually said the entire box is aluminum and composite. So you can see right here, you have the TFZ, which is a timber-free zone, because there's not a speck of wood in any of the construction, even on the inside. You have to be careful, is because sometimes when they say that, it's just in the walls, right? Or the floor. But he said even the tables and the panels are all composite material. And then this whole area, this whole box up here is also an alloy construction by MDC. And that's actually not as common. I know for sure Black Series ones that we used to carry, they were steel. So those trailers were quite a bit heavier. This one, obviously a lot lighter than a steel box. This looks like the refrigerator door. Once again, these are like the little details. Like if you're looking at a Rockwood, right, tent trailer, and if you have half a dozen to a dozen latches, that's $12, right? I mean, just do the math. It's really quick to see. So those details are a big deal when you're really looking at a trailer like this. So nice gas strut right there. You can see already popped out. So this looks to be a refrigerator. So I think this is a refrigerator drawer. Yeah, it's because you have a light in here, which is nice. And then you have a 12 volt and an Anderson plug right there. So this definitely is going to be a good spot for a refrigerator. And you have some straps, some tie downs right here. And then this is ventilation. So in this fridge space, looks like you could probably fit around a 95 liter is what it looks like. So stay tuned for the actual full walk around. This could be like a full tour right here. Okay, so oh, that's nice. This is a little laminated diagram on how to install the poles. And then you also have a bunch of poles in here, are gonna run in there. That's actually really nice. I remember my first time taking out another one of these types of trailers, and there was no diagram for the poles. I think it took us forever to figure out how to hook up. Okay. Oh wow, this is really nice. This is a long, so this is all aluminum. And this feels really strong. And then look inside here. This is carpeted. This feels really nice. And it looks like you have a bunch of goodies. This is like an unboxing video, you know, where people unbox things. Okay, you got a bunch of ropes, tie downs. Oh, and then stakes. Oh, I see. Yeah, so you have a bunch of stakes. So this is probably gonna be for like the annex room or the awning if you wanna set it out. Okay, so it looks like we got stereos. That's already cool. So it does look like we got the aluminum construction, RVI certified, Pacific West Association certified. Now my understanding is a trailer manufacturer only has to have one of these certifications to be certified in America. But MDC, they believe in going above and beyond and, you know, pulling out all the stops to make sure their trailers are certified from everyone. So that is really, really cool. And then it looks like we do have some stairs, and these are gonna be manual, I'm guessing. Looks like a clip for your door to hold it open. And we have another, okay, this is pretty cool. So we have a battery disconnect. So this will shut off your power. You have gauges. That's pretty good. Some of these little trailers don't actually have that stuff. The Australian stuff does, but generally if you're looking at American stuff, you're not gonna have gauges. So you have, I think that's a furnace. You have your water pump gauges and fridge, and they have a spare, and then you also have the BM Pro. So this is really cool. So you can see there's a little picture of a car, and that's because it's plugged in to the car. So I'm not sure that BM Pro generally works as a DC to DC, your solar charge controller, and also your shore power. So that's a pretty cool system. So it does look like we have a solar panel stock on this trailer. That's not super common. Most tent trailers are gonna give you a briefcase where you set out. So that is really cool to have. So you're gonna be able to be charging in transit. So everything feels so good. Nice handle. Look at feel this handle. That's the thing that you can't get in the video. You don't actually get the feel of this. It feels so strong. It feels so robust. You just can't always capture that. Okay, we got little flaps. I'm guessing that's for support. Oops. I love stuff like this. I know I point this out on all of our trailers, but you'd be surprised, like some of the other manufacturers that I've seen where they don't actually have that. So this thing is just rattling while you're off-roading. We've done some pretty gnarly off-roading in the last couple of days, just Boulder City. And think if that wasn't, that would just be bouncing like crazy inside there. And then another thing, look at this, rubber grommets to actually protect the metal. Also had this pole. I actually really like these poles that MDC does. The thing that I've noticed with the MDC, just working with them, is there's just a lot of attention to detail. And you don't get this when you're working with a newer manufacturer. When we were dealing with Black Series, they were only in the States for 4 or 5 years, right? And they were a few years back in Australia prior to that. And then, I mean, even Patriot Campers has only been around for maybe 10 or so years. I think they just had their 10-year anniversary. MDC, they were building these 17 years ago. And the reason why I talk about that is these poles, like this plate right here, there's actually a hole down here that they've designed to have this slide in. You actually have a nice foot, and then you actually have a knob that you can use to tighten this up. And I'm just saying this is because sometimes the ones that I've seen, there's not an actual spot for it to go. So you're just trying to like stick it somewhere and wedge it in there. And then like the actual tightening mechanism, you can't do it by hand. You have to pull out a pair of pliers and use it. It's like a butterfly little teeny bolt that you're tightening. When you're working with somebody that's been doing it for more than 5 years, more than 10 years, more than 15 years, almost going on 2 decades, you're gonna have lots and lots of touches, you know, lots of little attention to detail that you're not gonna get otherwise. Come right here, cutlery drawer. We got a little storage drawer. Look at that. MDC, got a little booklet, maybe make some notes, some manuals, some stuff in there. Okay, this looks like all the manuals for the Dometic. This is a Thetford. I am familiar with these stovetops. These stovetops are amazing. They put out a lot of BTU. Look at this. Got a little latch right here. So this drawer you can open, but it also has another protective latch so it doesn't just fall open on accident from bumpy roads. Beautiful. Dish rack. Let's see how to hook this up. There's probably going to be some hookup some areas to hook up. Okay, so we have our propane right here. Oh, it might be plumbed. It might be already plumbed. That's really cool. If this is already plumbed, yep, look at that. There you have it. And it's in this corrugated plastic for protection. So you can see that there's hot and cold. So that's a first on any tent trailer that I've ever seen. Usually there's like fittings. You have to plug everything in and go off-roading, forget to cover those fittings. You get mud and dirt and grime into those things. It's a disaster trying to connect your water when you're out camping. So all plumbed into the unit. So all you're gonna do is come right here, open the kitchen, hit that water pump, and you have water on demand right there. So the nice thing about doing this walk around, the director over there, sitting over there, he's the owner, so he knows way more than me. He did just point out that they did just get an exclusive deal with OFFROAD to have these in the United States. And these are, without a doubt, the best cooktops I've ever used. I've not used a cooktop that puts out more heat and cooks your food faster. And we're at like right now, 8,000 foot elevation. That's the big thing, is sometimes at sea level, things work okay. People don't realize that the higher you go, the less efficient everything is. Motors, generators, propane. So these things, I mean, we cooked steaks yesterday, huge pot of steaks, really fast. So lots of heat, lots of output on that. I love that. So let's keep walking around. Of course, you have your shackles down there for recovery. Another little thing that I want to point out is they've bolted these in. Then they actually put a cotter pin through this. So, you know, when you're off-roading and driving down the road, all the vibrations, these bolts tend to be able to unloosen themselves over time, and then you can lose these. I've had these in the past where driving down the highway and I lose one of these things. Think about this, if this flew off on the highway and went into somebody's windshield. So they actually put these cotter pins in here, and it makes it so they can't unloosen themselves and fall off. The camera guys found one of these sitting on the trail yesterday. So somebody had one on their truck and they just probably tightened it and didn't actually put a cotter pin through it, and it must have loosened off and fell on the trail. So these are little teeny details that you just don't always see, and it makes a big deal if you're losing, you know, things while you're driving down the road. It just is not as nice, your ownership experience. So coming over here, this is something new that I've just noticed. Looks like it actually runs a 30 amp power supply. Most of the trailers, I know the Patriots, Black Series tent trailers, they were all just a standard outlet, 120 volt. So you're gonna definitely be able to charge your batteries way faster with a 30 amp. So let's see what we got in here. Oh, there we go. That is awesome. So it looks like we have a 200 amp hour lithium battery. This is an option that you can upgrade on the Patriots. It's not standard. They usually come standard with AGM batteries. The Black Series all had a no-name brand gel battery, AGM battery. So this is really nice. And that's a big deal to have a 30 amp versus just 120. Because I've used the other trailers, that BM Pro is gonna be able to push a lot more amps through and charge that battery way faster. So that is nice. Generally, like if you're charging a 200 amp hour battery and you're doing it into a standard charger, that usually they use these really cheap chargers. These BM Pros are really nice systems. They're kind of a competitor to like the Red Arc systems or Victrons. They just charge a lot faster having a 30 amp source. So it looks like we got our water fill here, which they do put a locking mechanism there so nobody can steal your water, or heaven forbid, people can't stick stuff in there that's not supposed to be in there. So it looks like we have another water fill. So it looks like we might have 2 water tanks. So it looks like we have 2 water tanks on this. This is my first impression, so I don't know everything that's going on. And then I did ask Vaughn earlier what this was for, and he says this is designed so you can install an actual water heater. It actually comes with one. I think he said it was in here. I didn't unbox it yet. So he did show me this just before starting a bit ago. But he said this is actually also, you could do another refrigerator here because you do have another Anderson plug and you have your 12 volt. You also have a light right there. So let's unbox this really quick and I'll show you what I mean by that water heater. Okay, there we go. So Yeah, so this is gonna be on instant propane water heater. So essentially you plug these two, there's gonna be two valves that will plug in right here. And then you'll be able to just turn this thing on and it will give instant. Now this is really cool because most tent trailers that I've seen, generally you're only getting hot water out of this thing right here. But because they actually plumbed it right there, you're hot and cold. I'm assuming what this is gonna do is it's gonna actually send to the sink, because the sink is already plumbed with hot and cold. So you're gonna just connect this right here and it's gonna send hot and cold water to the sink, also hot and cold water to the shower as well. That's pretty cool. And then right here, this looks like the Anderson connector. So this does have a solar panel on the roof. I think I mentioned that already, which is really cool. But you can connect it right here and right there, and then that will go into the BM Pro to actually charge. Another thing that I want to point out is there is an onboard furnace here. From the looks of it, I think those are the 12,000 BTU units. We took one of these Flag Series campers into Canyonlands about 5 or 6 years ago. No onboard heater, no onboard hot water, and it got pretty cold in the night. My wife actually got sick, and we had a 3-year-old baby with us. Let's just say that was actually one of the worst trips we've ever done in our entire life, and we want to forget it and pretend it never happened. But I remember I ended up driving out of the camp, and I drove like 2 hours that night to go to an Ace Hardware before they closed to buy some propane heaters to put inside, because it was frigid. We were so cold. So to have an onboard heater that's just integrated into the trailer is so nice. And these things put out, I think it is the 12,000 BTU, which I'm sure it is. Those things put out so much heat. I mean, they'll fill an entire caravan, you know, like a 20-foot caravan with no issue. So I'm excited to see that inside. And then it looks like we have another storage compartment, and we got a bunch of goodies in here. Oh yeah, there you go. There's that Anderson connector. So you could definitely plug this in and charge while you drive, no issue. Or you can get, when you get to camp, you can plug it in. And then looks like it comes with a 30 amp plug. Wheel chocks. One of the things that I really like and appreciate about MDC is they do give you a lot of stuff where you're ready. I've never actually seen any manufacturer that give you wheel chocks. This is the first time I've ever seen that. And as silly as it is, it's really annoying to get to buy your camper and then go, oh shoot, I gotta make a run to Walmart and buy stuff like that, or buy it off Amazon and wait a few days. And of course, the good old Cruise Master, and I'm guessing it's running a DO35, which is right here. That's a full articulating side to side, up and down. So that is one of the best articulating hitches on the market. And then look, you do have your e-brake. So this is my first perspective on a tent trailer, but obviously I know other trailers. And now look at this. This looks like the propane box, but looks a little bit different than the one that I've seen. So it actually drops down this way, and you have two 20-pounders. So what this is going to be running is your hot water. It's going to run your furnace and your cooking, your stovetop. So you're going to be able to cook. This should last you all summer long. I was doing a walk around on some of our teardrop trailers and Patriot trailers recently, and the cylinders that they put on are 13-pound tanks. This is 40 pounds. That's 3 to 4 times the amount of propane right here. So you're gonna fill these up and pretty much have an entire summer of camping without any issues. If you go into cold weather, you know, you'll burn through it more with the heater, but that is a very good amount of propane. Okay, so while we're up here, let's look at this. Massive chains for towing, for protection. You come down here, it looks like this, it's 19 foot, 3 inches. That is tip to tip. So that's gonna be from the tip of this hitch all the way back to the spare tires. The gross vehicle weight rating on this thing is 5,291 pounds. So that's fully loaded. I think the trailer dry weight is under 4,000 pounds. So I know for sure you're gonna have over 1,000 pounds of cargo. And you do have a massive cargo rack here that you're able to store stuff on. I think it does have a weight rating on it, 265. Yeah, so easily put kayaks, bicycles, or whatever else you want up there. Now is the moment where I'm going to set this thing up, open it all up, and we'll see how that goes. If there's some slower moments, because I have never set this up ever. So I'm gonna have to figure it out as I'm setting it up. But generally the first time is the worst. When you go beyond that, you do it 2 times, 3 times, you get really efficient at it. So keep that in mind as you watch me setting it up. So it looks like you remove some pins out of here. Okay, got a pin. And then it looks like I got another one right here. I'm not gonna try to break a sweat here. So I'm not gonna do it like as fast as I can. And this is the first time I've ever done it. So I definitely wanna slow and steady wins the race. So let's pop this open. So there are some latches here. Let's push that down. Ooh, this is nice. I love having those gas struts. I hate like other trailers that don't do stuff like that, because you're like doing CrossFit while you're out camping, and nobody wants to get all sweaty when they're out camping. So pull this down, latch that, drop the tire, and you can stop it down. There we go. Okay, recommendation, find a good spot to put all these things so you don't lose them, because there is a lot of pins that hold everything in. I'm guessing that stays. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. That looks good right there. I'm guessing that's it. Let's throw those right there. I don't know if I should have put the kitchen out. I'm assuming that you wouldn't do that. You would probably set up first and then pull the kitchen out. But the cool thing about it is, if you are camping, we did do this a bunch while we were traveling. We'd stop for lunch, we were starving. We pull the kitchen out, wash your hands, cook some food, open the fridge. So you don't actually have to have the trailer set up to utilize the entire kitchen. You could take this tailgating if you wanted to and utilize the grills and all the cooking stuff and not actually open up the trailer. So, okay. Not too bad. There you go. There you go. Now it's all the way over. Now it looks like it's almost automatic. Okay, so that's all the way down. Okay, so this is gonna go down. They did not have this on any of the other units. Not even the X3 Patriot that cost 80 grand, that one that flips over. There's no way to actually latch it down in place. I actually had a customer come to the show last week. He wants to trade one in, and he said it got super windy. He was laying on the bed. He thought it was gonna shut up on him because the place that he was saying, you can stake it to the ground, the ladder drops down, but look at that. It's completely latched in. And then you can even put the pin in there, and there's no way that thing is going up. So Vaughn did help me with this portion of the setup, because he's saying, hey, you need to secure these down, these beds. And I was like, all the other trailers I have don't have any way to secure the beds down. You just kind of tighten up the tent, and then when you lay in it, the weight of the actual person sitting in it is what weighs it down. So pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. So look at this. So this is gonna go down. And that's gonna lock in right there. There you go. So now that's actually what's giving you good support. The cool thing about this trailer though is like, you can take this trailer anywhere. There's almost nowhere you can't take this trailer, right? And you can tow it with a super small tow vehicle as well. Like easily tow this with a mid-sized truck. I mean, this is what we've been towing it with, is the Nissan. And Will, who's been towing this, he says he was doing 80 miles per hour on the freeway. It's easier when you're on the freeway and it's a low center of gravity. And look at these. These are locking mechanisms. So like when you actually go down, it doesn't actually pop up. You can still put this in here just as an extra precaution. This thing is now, it can't go anywhere. And you can even tighten it even more. Actually, I will. It's nice and tight right there. Yeah. So we're about ready to go inside. Before I do, generally, I remember this from the other ones that we've set up before. You want to pull this down and make sure that just sets right there. And it's good to do that all the way around. Obviously, if you have a mate with you, you know, you could do this twice as fast. Also, there's always an efficient way of doing it. Like if I was smarter about it, when I dropped it down and latched it right here, I could have also tugged it. I wouldn't have had to walk around the entire trailer to do that. But this stuff is gonna come, probably just set that out a little bit. You know, I wouldn't have to just walk around and doing this. There you go. Pretty simple. It looks like the annex might be here. So this unit comes with a massive awning and annex that will essentially double the size of the trailer. I am not gonna set this up right now. So I'm gonna just grab it and put it over here. Okay, here we go. Let's head inside. I'm gonna take my shoes off. Looks nice and clean. So I literally have not set one of these up in like, I wanna say 5 years. So I think that goes right like this. So that's gonna go right there. And then there's these little wing nuts that you're gonna loosen. And then this is probably gonna go up nicely like. I probably need to unloosen the other side too. There we go. That's looking nice. Okay, let's see if we plug this in right here. There we go. Got some lights now. So this goes up like that. Now you tighten it. This one goes up like this. Now you tighten it. Just go up like that. Now that's nice and tight. Go up like that. Okay, now it looks like we have a bunch of cushions to put up. Hold on, let me see if I can open this. Okay, I'm gonna go outside and I wanna open those up so we get some cross breeze happening. Also, you can open this up. This is like a triple window. I've never seen that. Because they have a canvas like on the exterior and then they have a canvas on the interior, it looks like. At least in some places, the windows. And look at this, you have a double stitching on everything. This is what's really cool about these units is because you can do this. Let's see if this, I think I'm going off of memory from like 5 years ago. Okay, it looks like these cushions go like into these corners, it appears. Okay, I can already tell you, this is 10 times nicer. Oh, look at that. The divot, I don't think it had that on the other one. Okay, and then this table is going to okay, there it is. I'm gonna open this up a little bit more to get a little bit of a cross breeze. And you can just wind this up and out of the way. It's crazy, they've kind of done like a triple layer right here because you have an outside canvas that you have to roll up first, and then you have this, and that's sewed right here, and then you have an interior, so it's like twice as thick. Not seen that before. Usually there's only one layer, like just one canvas, like the stuff right here that's hard, and then you have the screens. So Cynthia, you should come check this out. I'm over here.
Right.
Hey, do you remember that trip we did when we took that patron with Courtney and Abuelo down into the desert for like a week?
I clearly remember that.
So look at this. What do you think of this? You've been in that one before. Do you have any thoughts of this one? Look at the cushions, how this area sits.
No, this is pretty nice. It's very spacious.
Just
Lots of
upholstery.
seating. Yeah.
Do you remember? This is like twice as thick. Do you remember those ones that were just like little skinny ones?
Half of it, yes.
Yeah, and it would flap down. These actually wedge in between the seat cushions.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then it becomes like like a lounge. So this actually has 2 queen size beds. Do you remember the one where your dad slept in? It was on rollers and it would slide out. And I'd always want to slide back inwards while he was sleeping. So this one actually, the front one, how it folded, and this is where me and Courtney slept. It double folds. So you have 2 queens, so you don't have one that's like sliding in and out. Do you remember that area, that table, how small it was?
It was pretty small. I do clearly remember I couldn't seat this deep.
Yeah,
You know?
okay, so what was terrible about that trip? What was the thing that you didn't like about it?
What I hated the most about that trip was that we were cold. We were very, very cold.
Freezing.
Yes.
Do you remember how I had to run to the store?
And buy some sort of weird heater that was hooked to like a propane thing. So it was, I mean, we weren't supposed to breathe that in that as much, but we were cold. So we were trying to balance out what was the best, worst thing.
Yeah, they say don't have those indoor where it's sealed. So we kind of were like cracking the window. So the frigid temperatures, it was like in the single digits or the teens. Yeah, it was in the teens. So it was like freezing coming in, but also the heater was like heating. But do you remember every time the trailer shake, that heater had a sensor so it would turn off?
Yeah.
So I had to wake up all night long, like every hour on the hour, and try to strike it because Cynthia got sick. That was probably another reason why I was miserable.
Yeah.
Guess what this has?
What?
It has an onboard heater.
Wow.
It has the exact same heater that we have in the 17 right over here.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
So you just turn on that heater, boom, and you have heat in
It's
here.
already installed?
It's already installed, included in the trailer.
It's always there.
It's always there. So you literally turn on the switch just like we did this morning.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do I turn it on? You just turn it down. It's the exact same thing. There's a thermostat and everything.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
This also has an inverter. We didn't have an inverter.
Yeah, we had no cooks. Right?
So you can be able to run power off grid.
Wow. Yeah.
That one also had 1 AGM. This has a 200 amp hour lithium battery. Look at the storage too. There's actually storage.
Yeah.
Where
We
do
didn't have any storage.
Where do we put stuff?
We just had it in our bags, in our backpacks. We just had things in our backpacks. I remember that.
Oh, there's storage under here too. A water pump and storage. Yeah, you could put a bunch of stuff under there.
Oh, wow. So that is there.
That's a massive amount of storage. I mean, you put clothes in there.
Yeah. No, but I think like the biggest selling point is that the heater, like.
So and it's also plumbed with,
It's
do
amazing.
you remember it was only cold water? This is hot and cold.
Also.
Yeah, the kitchen has hot and cold.
Yeah.
So 2 queen size beds, You have outlets throughout, storage throughout. This lounge area is insane. It's massive. So I'm guessing these cushions go down and fill in this space to make a bed. Look at this. You flip this out. There's a little lever right there.
To make it
Yeah,
go
look at
down.
that. Courtney would love that, huh?
Yeah,
She'd be in charge of putting up the table, putting it up and down.
that's really cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then you just pull these out and they'd fit in right here once it goes all the way down.
This
This
is
is-
perfect for a family.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
Like,
Also sleeping areas. This is sleeping space.
There's
The
a-
heater is amazing because you can, if you're cold, what are you gonna do? You know, like that's the situation that we were at.
yeah,
You know, in the trip, there's nothing you can just put more layers and layers and layers, but you're still cold, especially at night trying to sleep. I mean, if you're hot, you can like, I don't know, you can survive, but without heat, you can't.
yeah, it's freezing.
You know?
It's not fun.
You get sick. I got sick pretty badly, and I was ready to leave and be done with that camping trip. So that is amazing. You get some privacy.
We didn't have those, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That's very cool.
It's a simple little detail. And
You
then,
can change clothes behind them.
yeah, you could actually go in there. So if you had this open up during the day
Yeah.
and you didn't want to have to like close it up. And Courtney, you want to come check this out? Come on in. We're doing a video. You can give us your input. Courtney, what do you think of this?
It's nice.
Do you love it?
It's like a mini trailer, but it's not so small.
Does it feel big in here?
Yeah, it feels big, but it's not like so small.
Yeah. It is a smaller, like you can pull it with a small little vehicle.
It has a wide open space on the side, but when you see the outside, it looks like it doesn't have a lot of space, but it actually has a lot.
A good amount of space. What do you think of this table?
I like it. It looks pretty stable. Like sometimes you put too much weight on it, and then it could wobble or something like that.
This
But
one's
this one's
not wobbling.
There.
Yeah, that actually is really sturdy. That's a good point. I was actually thinking the exact same thing. That's like really well mounted. We could play, what would you like to do on this table?
like we could do dinner. We could play like Uno or anything like
Uno,
that.
any type of games.
Yeah.
You can probably play even Candyland on this table.
Yeah, Candyland actually. You could probably play a game of Monopoly over there and a game of Candyland right here. So everybody could be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big table. I don't know if you can capture that, but I mean, you can easily fit 4 people just right there and then another 2 people over. Yeah, you can put 6 people at this booth. That's really cool. Anyway, well, if you have any questions about this trailer, you want to know, this is like my first impressions. I literally walked around it, set it up. I think the setup probably took me, I don't know how much time it was, around 20 or so minutes, but this was my first time ever setting it up, and I did it by myself. So like when you get the process down, like I think I could probably do it in 5 to 10 minutes by myself if I was moving and not talking in the camera. And if your wife helped you, or if you had a kid to help you set it up, it would go even faster. So this is super nice. This feels very, very nice. I'm actually extremely impressed. And for the price on this, compared when you go out there and compare it with like other stuff on the market, like a Patriot, 70, 80 grand. Or if you compare it to like a teardrop trailer or other like cheaper, like the Black Series or Rockwoods, you know, you might be spending, you know, 10, 15, 20, $25,000 on some of those trailers, but you don't get an onboard furnace. You don't have like a beautiful kitchen on the outside, hot water, inverter system, lithium, solar. It's set up and ready to actually go camping, which is really cool. It also has an annex that goes all the way out, an awning and an annex that doubles the size of the trailer.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, very nice.
Give us your final thought. What do you think of it, Courtney? How many thumbs?
100.
100. You only have 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs up. There you go. Okay. Thanks for watching.